got a dope history. Our history is so dope. We don't need a Kamala Harris. We don't need to shoehorn people into our shit. We don't need to. Because we got so many dope people that why talk about Kamala Harris's Black history when we could talk about George Washington Carver? You got people doing all of this talk about shoehorning frauds like Kamala Harris in, when we got people like George Washington Carver. George Washington Carver was so dope. Let me tell you how dope George Washington Carver was. George Washington Carver was so dope when Henry Ford, one of his homeboys, said, I want to mass produce cars. George Washington Carver said, give me a moment. He went and studied the plant, talked to the plants, saw how plants distributed their resources, and came up and invented the assembly line, which made Ford Motor Company the first company in the world to mass produce cars. When America said we need a material because Germany during World War II has cut off some of our manufacturing, we need a material that's going to bond, to put in the rubber and also to put in the other things that we can use that's going to bond, that's not going to warp, that we can put into plastics and shit like that. So George Washington Carver said, give me a minute. And he created the soybean. See, a lot of people talk about George Washington Carver from the peanut. The peanut was, and he did hundreds of things with the peanut. He did. But out of the hundreds of things he did with the peanut was still less than 5% of what he created. This man's a bad motherfucker. We can teach a whole college course on George Washington Carver. We could teach a whole college course on George Washington Carver and what he means and what he brought to America. And y'all want to waste time on calling Kamala Harris Black history? We're not going to get into how the whole plant, the whole assembly line, the assembly line alone is something that pushed America, because the assembly line got duplicated from cars onto other things, onto just a manufacturing thing in general. That's what pushed America ahead of Great Britain and Europe and other parts of the world as far as its ability to make more money than the rest of the world. America was always a little bit ahead of the rest of the world in its inventions. And it's been black people behind those inventions. Y'all want to tell me Kamala Harris is Black history when we got Ida B. Wells? Are you fucking serious? You want to waste time on talking about just because Kamala Harris A woman who threw more people in prison, California state history than anyone else is Black history. When we got Ida B. Wells, do you know who Ida B. Wells is? Ida B. Wells was so dope. One thing I love about when I study people, I like studying their progression. And I'm not giving you the whole breakdown of any of these people. I'm only giving y'all snippets of their history. I can do another broadcast where I really go in depth over these people's history. I'm just giving you snippets of what they did. I encourage everyone listening to look them up for yourselves and teach them to the children for yourselves. Because we got a lot of work to do on identifying who we really are. We ain't got time to be shoehorning those sorry ass Kamala Harris in when we don't know who the real people are who made us, and and those of us who do know don't talk about the people who really made Black history, what Black History Month is. Ida B. Wells is somebody who did a lot for Black people, and she was someone who was chased out of the South because when Black people were getting lynched in the South, she was like a lot of Black people are right now. Oh, they must have did something. You know, we all got that. You know, we all was educated by them, so it's still in us. You know, a Black person must have did something. That's something that we usually gotta grow out of as Black people. A lot of us are there now, but we didn't start there. Neither did Ida B. Wells. She was going back, and then she brought light to what was going on with all the Black people being lynched down South, to the point to where she put her life on the line to report and tell these stories, to where she got chased out. You're gonna put someone like a Kamala Harris because she she got her job, and she got her job by putting niggas in jail. You gonna compare her to a woman who risked her life to stop Black people from getting lynched? And there's a lot more to Ida B. Wells. I'm telling you fingernail clippings of what she's done. She has a whole body of work. I'm only giving you the fingernail clippings, because I encourage people to look these people up for themselves. We as Black people got a dope fucking history, man. We don't got time to be shoehorning no goddamn Kamala Harris's into our history. I talked about this man before. Do you know who Benjamin Banneker is? I talked about him on a recent broadcast. Do you know who Benjamin Banneker is? Benjamin Banneker Bay. Do you know who he is? Benjamin Banneker, this dude was so dope. He saved America literally from going into famine. And again, I'm only going to give you a snippet of what Benjamin Banneker did, because I talked about him recently on a broadcast, and y'all go back and listen to it. But Benjamin Banneker, first of all, he's on the back of the $2 bill. He's one of the 2 Black people who are on it. This man designed the city of Philadelphia. He designed Washington, D.C., got D.C. in alignment with the constellation Virgo using Moorish science, and he saved America from famine because the 365-day calendar is off, and America has started going destitute with food because their planting season was off. So he created and came up with something called the Farmer's Almanac, predicting weather patterns and when to plant the seeds and what the weather's going to do. And with his Farmer's Almanac, he saved the United States of America from starvation. I don't give a fuck how powerful a nation is. If a nation can't eat, it ain't going nowhere. Benjamin Banneker did that. You want to waste time on shoehorning Kamala Harris into Black history? When we got all these great people that we don't talk about?